You know, we gotta watch him out of context again first, cause like bilingual. We'll get to that, but I gotta find that compilation first. Where is it? Oh, here we go.
Goat's milk latte drinking.
It's quick.
Avocado toast.
Avocado.
But it's harder when you're stupid.
I love that. He's so right. Life is hard, but it's harder when you're stupid. No, sir.
I did not call Senator
Sanders an ignorant slut. I need that again.
No, sir. No, sir.
I did not call Senator Sanders an ignorant slut.
It's so good. Like, he's so iconic. He's so iconic. Like, we praise Trump, but just like this guy is so random and odd. The thing about Trump is that it's not really odd or random. It's just a little sassy and mean, and that's what makes it funny. But this guy's just weird. And I find so much humor in this guy just being so random. This is so much more funny to me. Cause like, what the fuck? Like, I'm just like,
People who are bilingual. They speak English and stupid.
that's my favorite one. I need it again. I love that one so much. People who are bilingual. They speak English and stupid.
People who are bilingual. They speak English and stupid. I don't know why we have to give money to countries that hate us. They should be able to hate us for free. Looks like we're giving Lindsay Lohan. I don't know why we have to give money to countries that hate us. They should be able to hate us for free.
He's right. He's so right. They should be able to hate us for free. That's so funny. That's so funny.
We're giving Lindsay Lohan the keys to the minibar. President Biden is sort of like Kevin Bacon at the end of Animal House. They wanted it like Ben wants J-Lo. I'm like Bluto in Animal House. I'm just fat, drunk, and stupid. Frankly.
Like, what is he talking about? I love him out of context. He's incredible. Why does he love Animal House so much? I'm so confused. And he loves Ben Affleck. Like, what?
I can't, because I can't get my head that far up my rear end. Stick it up there, fact checker. They can kiss my ass. Somebody at the White House has been smoking the devil's lettuce. Okay, we cannot.
I love her reaction.
Economy by putting fairy dust and unicorn urine in our cars. Urinate to get off the pot. My car doesn't run off fairy dust. My car doesn't run off unicorn urine.
So weird. He's so weird. It's incredible. Like, how is this a real person? He's so weird. Like, how did he come up with that? Like, what do you mean unicorn urine? Like, what are you talking about?
Spending porn on pet projects. It's just chock full of spending porn. There's an enormous amount of spending porn. Next time you get in trouble, call a crackhead, call a criminal, call a meth head. It must suck to be that dumb. I don't mean disrespect, but the mayor needs to take her meds. Christmas ornaments, drywall, and Jerry Epstein. Name 3 things that don't hang themselves.
I forgot about that one. Wait.
Christmas ornaments, drywall, and Jerry Epstein. Name 3 things that don't hang themselves.
Oh my god. Like, how does he come up with that shit? Who writes this for him? I need it one more time. Jerry Epstein.
Christmas ornaments, drywall, and Jerry Epstein. Name 3 things that don't hang themselves.
Like, it's already funny because he just says it. He like says things completely wrong, and then like there's the punchline, and it makes it even funnier. That he's just wrong, doesn't correct himself, and still delivers the punch, and it's always good. God. Alright, so that's your introduction to this guy. And now he's reading graphic quotes from a children's books.
Let's take 2 books that have been much discussed.
Much discussed.
The first one is called All Boys Aren't Blue, and I will quote from it.
God, that face. There's just something about his skin. It looks blubbery. Like, I feel like if you flicked him, like, on his cheek, his whole face, it wouldn't be just like, it would just all go at once. It would be like, boom, 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 boom. Like, it would kind of like recoil slowly. The vibrations would slowly go, you know? If that makes sense. Do you guys see what I see?
I put some lube on and got him on his knees, and I began to slide into him from behind.
Real? These are the groomers. They're grooming our kids. Wait, what? Wait, what is this book? Boys Aren't Blue? All Boys Aren't Blue. Is a young adult. Oh. Wait, this is, yeah, it's not for kids. It's a memoir manifesto by journalists and activists. So it sounds like this is for people who know what sex is. Is it inappropriate? Then censored because it includes LGBTQIA content and profanity and sexually explicit. I think young adult refers to like teenagers and up. But also like young adult is like, I mean, I think I'm considered a young adult, like, right? I don't know. I don't read a lot of books. What is considered a young adult? Oh. Okay, I guess it depends what you think of. Yeah, when I think of young adult, I think of, yeah, like Fault in Our Stars and Hunger Games. I guess it's kind of different. Yeah, they're considered young adult. I guess they're like youth, teen. Yeah, but this is nonfiction. What is this? Does this have like warnings? It's young adult. I mean, I'm assuming it has a warning on it. Like, it's gotta. Like, this is definitely not children. But it's not like, teenagers shouldn't know what sex is. I mean, they're allowed to know, right? Like, I mean, I don't care if it's queer, straight. Like, I don't think they should be, like, exposed to it all the time. But, like, and that's a little graphic for, like, younger people. But it's not like you can just pretend sex doesn't exist. Like, it is a thing that you gotta teach people about at some point. I mean, if you kind of go into adulthood, like, if you turn 18, you're like, learn about sex, and you're like, so that's how babies are made? Imagine how embarrassing your college experience is gonna be. Like, you're just gonna be so immature. The worst people I knew were people who just, like, physically couldn't get the maturity to say explicit words. Like, I knew a grown adult, like an 18-year-old woman who would, like, talk about having sex with her boyfriend, being like, yeah, we were doing the do. And I'm like, you fucked. Just say you had sex. We're adults. We're grown. You are allowed to do that. Like, you don't have to say you are doing the do. Like, come on. Well, yeah, this guy definitely preaches abstinence, but I'm of the opinion that you shouldn't hide these things from younger people, because then they're gonna get a weird complex around it. I feel like you gotta make it comfortable. It's gonna be awkward, but, like, they gotta know what it is. I mean, I've done, like, a lot around child development, and generally, I think being open and honest and not hiding your kids from the truths of the world is generally a good thing. Because then when they find out things are different than what they believed, it kind of fucks them up, or, like, they end up being weird. They'll probably end up being bullied for not knowing things. Like, you can't keep your kid believing in Santa forever. No, they definitely don't actually care. This is just LGBT panic. I'm going on a tangent.
I pulled out of him and kissed him while he masturbated.
Aw.
He asked me to turn over while he slipped a condom on himself. This was my ass. I was struggling to imagine someone inside me.
Oh my god. Yeah, because then you're just tossed up. Like, sorry, grown adults. I mean, like, parents and teachers gotta have conversations with younger people that, like, okay, these things, they're a fact of life. They're gonna happen. It's awkward, and it's gonna be a little silly, but I gotta explain this to you. Did we not all have the birds and the bees talk? At some point, you gotta know that you didn't just magically appear because your parents loved each other very much. I mean, I never had an explicit talk with, like, my parents. I did have sex ed, but I had sex ed and YouTube. And do you really want your kids learning about sex ed from YouTube? Because, I mean, I fortunately watch pretty good channels that taught good things, but do you really want to take that risk? If you don't teach what sex is, can you even teach abstinence? Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like, you gotta teach kids a fact of life. Yeah, no, I think it is better that you have access to info, but I think, like, you as a parent should have, like, open conversations with your children, so when they are, like, finding content, like educational content, you can, like, make sure they're learning things that are correct and aren't, like, harmful. Because, like, I was lucky that I found people that actually gave, like, comprehensive, good advice, whereas some people are learning sex from, like, Andrew Tate or, like, some dudes on a podcast. Like, you know, that's what I'm trying to say. I think You just gotta open up a conversation with your kids. But I don't think using online resources is a bad thing. I think it's good that it's easier to find sex ed online. Even adults could use that. Like, sometimes you need tips and things change, or like you just want to hear someone explain like their experience, you know? It's not bad. Oh, sex ed for John Kennedy?
Don't have sex, because you
Real.
will get pregnant
And die. I did not call Senator Sanders an ignorant slut.
Somebody at the White House has been smoking the devil's lettuce.
It's so good. It's so good.
He got on top and slowly inserted himself into me. It was the worst pain I think I have ever felt in my life. Eventually, I felt a mix of pleasure with the pain. Close quote. All boys aren't blue.
This sounds like a queer person just explaining their perspective about having gay sex. I don't know. This is just queer development. I think that's okay for people to learn or maybe relate to. Like, yeah, that sounds like he was just explaining how he went about it the first time. Just like what it felt like and what, I don't know. Like, I don't think that's that weird.
Another much discussed book. I'm sure you're familiar with it. It's called Genderqueer. Okay?
Why'd he nod his head like that?
I'm sure you're familiar with it. It's called Genderqueer. Okay? Quote, I got a new strap-on harness today. I can't wait to put it on you. It will fit my favorite dildo perfectly.
And I'm not gonna let anyone get in my way. I'm a failure.
Crazy time to read. Oh my god. The main character discovers they are asexual in this part of Genderqueer. Oh. So this seems like it's just someone explaining their queer experience for other people to learn, and this guy's mad about that. That's crazy.
Looks so hot. I can't wait to have your cock in my mouth. I'm going to give you the blowjob of your life. Then I want you inside of me. End quote. Mr. Secretary.
Not on the iPad. Wait, what is the point of this? Mr. Secretary. Goddamn. The way he says cock, though, so aggressive. It seems like he's definitely said cock in this context before, but I don't know. I'm going to put my cock in your mouth.
What are you asking us to do? Are you suggesting only librarians should decide whether the two books that I just referenced should be available to kids?
No.
Okay. Tell me what you're saying.
Wait, what? I think our libraries have adult sections. I mean, I think this should be available to teenagers because these seem like educational about their experiences, and a lot of that, even though it's school libraries, I think for older kids, sure, because it's educational and at a crucial point of them learning about their identities. This could actually be helpful with like thinking about, okay, like how did they go about this, you know? Like sometimes you need guidance, and it's better to get that from a book than, I guess, like talking to random people. Like I'd rather kids just read this in a book.
First of
There's
all,
no pictures.
Don't give me a speech. Tell me what you're asking me to do.
with all due respect, Senator, the words you spoke are disturbing, especially coming out of your mouth is very disturbing. We're not advocating for kids to read porn, to Senator Booker's
What
point.
are you advocating for?
We are advocating for parents, random parents, not to have the ability, under the guise of keeping kids safe, to try and challenge the world view of every single manner on these issues.
You're getting conceptual game.
I'm not getting
What?
The librarians
I think
should
it's...
decide
Wait,
who
what?
gets to see that book.
I'm saying
That's what librarians get to do. That's like their job, right? They manage the library. Yeah.
individual parents are allowed to make a decision of where that line is, and To Kill a Mockingbird, which involves a rape scene, should that book be pulled from our libraries?
Yeah, exactly. Like like one of the required. I mean, there's probably so many books that have like awkward or like like debatably inappropriate stuff, but you can't hide that from developing people, because these are things that happen and things they need to think about how they feel about it, what should be done, you know? Like you can't hide those real world things, especially like queer people and sexual violence, because the best way to prevent like terrible things happening is by educating kids. The best way to prevent sexual violence is by educating people about what it is, what it looks like, and why it's bad. Same with queer people. The best way to prevent bigotry and violence against queer people is by educating people about queer people and queer issues, like, and that they're just people. It's the thing that happens in life.
Well, let me skip you for a second. Mr. Cameron, tell me what your
It's pronounced mix.
mix, is that how would you like me to refer
What
to
the fuck?
Your definition of sexual
glitch.
is synonymous with LGBTQ identity.
I mean, I think that was sexual, but sexual. I mean, like, yeah, like he's just mad that it was gay. Oh, mix. He was glitching at mix. Yeah, the pink suit is a sleigh. I mean, he's mad that it's queer. I don't think, but I'm like sex positive, and I think inherently sex can be educational and not inherently inappropriate. Obviously, there's context, like so many boundaries and things you have to remember, but I think in an educational way, it can be appropriate for sure. But yeah, he is just mad that it's queer. And he wouldn't be mad if it was like explicitly talking about straight sex. That's very true.
There should be facilitation of collaboration between students,
parents
and
have a say?
educators. Parents should be working with students and educators to be making decisions because students are.
And who
these-
decides ultimately? The librarian, or do you take a vote, or who takes the vote?
What? What is he talking about? What is he trying to prove?
in my school district?
You want a committee to decide?
There are committees.
Okay.
Yeah, how do you think people make decisions on education? Does he think that it's just like free market education? A teacher's just kind of like put there to run their own business? Like, I'm so confused. What does he think is going on in schools? Yes, a committee decides these things. It's a community effort to educate children.
All Boys Aren't Blue, the scene you mentioned, is about sexual abuse.
I know what it's about.
It's not
What would
erotic.
you do in terms of making the books available?
Yeah, it's not
Would
just
you say
porn.
anybody can see
not
them?
erotica.
Or they have to be in a special session? So,
I mean, yeah, unfortunately, to like understand sexual abuse, you have to know what it looks like. And that's awkward and uncomfortable, but you can't just be like, yeah, sexual abuse exists, and then not explain like what it would look like.
okay, we're not talking about Catcher in the Rye.
Catcher in the Rye. Catcher in the Rye definitely has inappropriate moments, if I remember correctly. I don't know, it's been a while since I've read that, but I feel like Holden Caulfield definitely said, yeah, he hires a sex worker. Yeah, that's right. That book has like kind of whack moments. He's problematic.
And parents have nothing to do with it.
I know just a talk to her though, but it was still like
What planet
clear.
did you just parachute in from? This is not China.
Parents, Senator, for all due respect, parents absolutely have a say.
This isn't China.
We'll be on the wrong side of history.
We solved the problem in Illinois. We fixed it.
It's crazy because, like, I mean, Catcher in the Rye, I don't think you're supposed to necessarily like Holden Caulfield. I don't think he's, like, they're not, like, showing his situations like they're good. So it's not like these books were showing those situations like they were good. Like, if that's about sexual abuse, then that's not painted as a good thing. This is painted as an important topic that needs to be talked about and what it looks like and that it's bad. Yeah, cautionary tales.
Well, that's why
I'm
I'm
out
here
of
to help.
time. Thank
I'm
you,
to
Mr.
help-
Chairman.
To help other states make these decisions.
He just talked in circles about nothing. What is this? This is the Senate holding a hearing about book bans. That was definitely interesting. What have I considered? He just like me for real. Okay, you have a point there. Yeah, that definitely was one of the moments in Senate history. Definitely will go down as one of the moments. God. The Senate is such a disaster. It's such a fucking disaster. It's really funny, actually. Who decides? Who decides?
Somebody at the White House has been smoking the devil's lettuce, okay? I did not call Senator Sanders an ignorant slut.
I did everything right and they indicted me.